Hi everybody, Donnie Collins here with Big Time Events DJ. Welcome to this video. This is a reception that I did back in summer of 2025. This is going up a little later than I usually put these out. But this was at the Statesboro Visitors Center. And first of all, I want to give a big shout out to the Statesboro Visitors Center. The staff there were super nice, super helpful. I had some questions about lighting and so forth, and they hopped right on it and everything was perfect. The location is extremely good. It's in the middle of downtown Statesboro, Georgia. So your wedding ceremony can actually be right there on the grounds, or if you're at any nearby churches with the way this one was, you're very close drive for the reception. Parking is also really great, and the layout is also really good as well. So right now we're gonna jump right into the video. Hope you enjoy it. Hi everybody, Donnie Collins here, Big Time Events DJ. Today I am doing a wedding reception here in Statesboro, Georgia at the Statesboro Visitors Center. This is also where they have the farmers market each Saturday morning during the spring, summer, and a good chunk of the fall. So I'm super familiar with this venue and it is really great. Today's actually the first wedding that I've done here, and I'm going to turn around here. You can see my setup is back here in the corner right there, and the dance floor is what I'm on right now. So number one thing that I would say at the moment, it's June 21st. It's really hot, but it feels so good in here. So props to the venue for a fantastic air conditioner. It's working really, really good. So I expect our guest, which is around 250, 275, they should be very, very comfortable. This is a closer look at my setup here behind me. This is what I normally play with. So I won't go into too much detail about all that. I do have my QR code for request out to request now if folks want to send in requests that way. Okay, while there's still not any guests here, I want to take just a minute to show a few things that are going on in here. So I'm going to flip the camera around right quick. Okay, so these are the up lights. I've got 18 throughout the room here. And what was slightly tricky is that there are lamps on all the posts in the room already. So I didn't want to put my lights directly where those are. So I ended up alternating my uplights with the lamps that are through the room, and it's turned out really good. Now what I do during the cocktail hour and dinner, I keep the uplights on a candlelight color, and then once the open dancing begins, that's when the colors change and there's more, activity going on with the lights at that point. This is the bar area right here. I've got a couple of uplights on each side of that. I tried to put the uplighting on the molding so it pops out a little bit more, and of course you try to avoid putting an uplight on a fire extinguisher or something like that. So insofar as that, everything turned out pretty good.
Again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate Garrett and Taylor today. We do invite you to help yourselves to some refreshments that we've got a lawn forming right there, so it's pretty obvious where to get for that. And we also have some drinks here in the back, so feel free to help yourselves to those as well if it gets a little crowded near the door. Once again, thank you so much for being here.
The guests are just now arriving from the ceremony, which was down the road. So they're getting here, helping themselves to refreshments, signing the guest book. They're leaving a message on the audio guest book as well. So they'll be mingling a little bit here, and then we'll be doing the grand entrance, special dances, then a welcome from the couple, and then we'll be doing dinner. After that, we will be doing cake cutting and open dancing. So I'll be back in a little bit. So as a vendor, what do I like about this venue so far? Well, first of all, it's like 12, 15 minutes from my house. So that's great. You really can't beat that. Number two, the load in was perfect. There's there's not a more perfect load in than this, because I can pull right to the front door, let down my trailer door on the back, and it's hard surface all the way, and I'm just right inside the door. So that's very good. And it's also inside, and it's air conditioned. And right now they've turned the fans, they're ceiling fans as well as air conditioning, and the air conditioning is actually doing great, but they've also got ceiling fans, but those are off at the moment because of the candlelight on the tables. But yeah, it really checks all the boxes. I'm parked, I can walk out to the vehicle in like 10 seconds, but I'm still hidden, so you can't just see the vehicle in the trailer there. So, and the power's really good. I've got two 20 amp outlets right here. No extension cords, everything's hidden. It's very, very good. And it's also June. It's like super hot outside, but it's very, very comfortable. I mean, even it's cool enough in here that I'm wearing a jacket and I feel fine. So a lot of good things about this venue. So definitely check it out for sure if you're having an event. Okay. One thing that I've done for tonight's setup is make sure my speakers are really, really high. My mains, the tops that do like 190 hertz and up, something like that. There's a couple of tables. There's actually 3 tables right between me and the dance floor. So I don't want to blare those people out so much. So I've got my tops a little higher than normal just to really clear over their heads nicely. And also the room is pretty deep. And again, it'll hold, 250, 300 people. And it's pretty full right now. So having the tops up really nice and high also helps shoot the sound way to the back, in addition to keeping the folks up here in the front from getting it right in their ear.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me clearly, if you could raise your hand, especially way in the back. Can y'all hear me back there? We're all good? Awesome, good deal. Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for being here for our celebration. And we're just about to bring in our wedding party. But before we do that, we have some very special guests that we would like to recognize at this time. Grandparent of the bride, everybody please, how about a nice round of applause for Miss Bonnie Donaldson. And also grandparent of the groom. Everybody, nice round of applause for Miss Brenda. Yay! All right. Now, if you are ready to kick off this celebration, I would like you to make some noise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our wedding party. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like everybody to put your hands together, stand up on your feet, make some noise. It is my pleasure to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Garrett Scott. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated at this time, and we are going to ask our couple to have their first dance as husband and wife. Everybody give them another nice round of applause for the first dance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're at table 4 through 6, if you're at table 4 through 6, please help yourselves for something up at the food line. Tables 4 through 6.
Okay, so right after the blessing, immediately after, I announced for everybody to wait and don't go for food yet, because I wanted to just triple check that it was all ready. I don't want to send anybody up if the food's not ready. So I went and checked, and everybody went up anyway. The line's not that long, and everybody seems to be content and happy. I want to give another shout out again to the venue and the staff there. they really made it easy to get things done that I needed done. And the main thing there was, hey, how do we adjust the lights for when it's time to dance? Okay, as you can see here in the video, it's nice and dark, and that really facilitates dancing. Okay, so the staff there really took charge with that, and I was able to tell them, hey, once the open dancing starts, I'll send you a text message, and could you cut the lights down at that point? And that's exactly what they did. So I'm super thankful for that. Again, it does really create the mood for people to dance. It also enhances the lighting that I bring. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I've got 18 uplights around the room. So those are really enhanced if the house lights are not so bright and down a good bit. So again, shout out to the venue for that. Thanks so much for that help. Also, some other things that were really great about the venue, for me, the load-in was really good. I was able to back up to the front door and load in directly into the venue. So that was super easy. The decor inside the room is really nice. There's a lot of different things you could do with it. You could go in a lot of different directions with however you might like to actually decorate in there. But yeah, the venue is really good. I was super happy with that. The catering, there was a bar in the back like you saw earlier in the video, and then of course the food was placed around on tables there, so that was really good as well. One thing that I mentioned back in the video itself, I'm really careful to make sure that the food is ready to go before I send somebody up. Okay, so typically what I'll do is once it's time to start serving food, unless I've specifically been told for sure to go ahead and send people up, I usually double check at that point just to make sure. Then people will go up for food at that point, because you just don't want to send anybody up if the catering staff is not ready for them. So just something to watch out for. Okay, and of course, once we were in the dance set, had a super group who really wanted to dance, who really wanted to celebrate. I had a great song list from the couple, and I also had great requests from the guest. I do encourage clients to do both of those things. With guest request, it's always, I always screen those. I don't just play whatever somebody asks for. It certainly needs to be something that's a good fit for the celebration. If it's something that's not really in the vibe of what we're already doing, in a lot of cases I may pass on those very politely, to the guests who might ask for those. But again, I do screen those. I don't just play anything that gets asked for. Okay. Photography, great to work with them here at this particular event as well. As you can see during some of these dance clips here, you can see the photographers and the strobes going off. Actually, it kind of enhanced my lights a little bit. I thought it was kind of cool. As you see right here, the strobes going off from the photographer's camera. I was very happy with that, actually. I think it enhanced what I was already doing, so that was cool to see. Another tip for anybody having a reception, make sure, and again, most DJs are going to know this, but when it's time for speeches, when it's time for special dances, anything like that, bouquet toss especially, if you're going to have one of those, make sure that your photographer is ready to go. Okay, so give them a little bit of lead time just to make sure they're in place. You don't want to accidentally miss that. Okay, so just be a little bit mindful of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the last fast dance of the evening off of the official request list. Be sure to get your dancing. Here we go.
So for couples getting married, I absolutely would recommend this venue. It's wonderful, and I hope to be back there very soon. Again, it's close to hotel rooms. If you've got guests coming from out of town, hotels are very close by. Practically anything inside Statesboro is going to be relatively close to this. So it's got a lot of good points. The air conditioning worked great. Parking there was really good. And it's very, very spacious. So I was super happy with everything. about the venue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Garrett and Taylor. All right, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we would like everybody to begin to make your way out the front door here. We are going to let Garrett and Taylor have a private last dance. So we need everybody at this time, everybody, to make your way out to the front as quickly as you can. And they are going to have their private last dance. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here for part of our celebration. And we will meet you outside with some sparklers in just a minute.
All right, that was a wrap from here at the Statesboro Visitors Center. Everything was really, really good. Just everything about this venue is completely perfect. The acoustics are good. It is air conditioned. Parking is great. It's easy to get to. It's in the middle of everything. So it's really, really good. So I'm looking forward to being back here sometime in the future. So till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.